This episode tells of our visit to Isla Isabel. Isla Isabel is one of Mexico's national parks and is referred to as the Galapagos of Mexico because of the enormous number of nesting birds and resident iguanas that inhabit the island. Among the many species of birds that nest on the island are boobies, including the blue-footed booby, and frigate birds, those magnificent soaring birds with the V-shaped tail. They raise their young here in relative safety as there are few natural predators, and with the island's national park status, they are not intimidated by human visitors.
As shown in this map, Isla Isabel is our first stop from San Blas on our way to Mazatlán. It is about 40 nautical miles from San Blas and lies about 20 nautical miles off the Mexican coastline. Our plan was to arrive at Isla Isabel in the morning, anchor, go ashore to hike the island, and then depart later in the afternoon for Mazatlán. We left our Mantention Bay anchorage near San Blas just after midnight, and were anchored at Isla Isabel by 9:35 in the morning. We had a nice moonlit ride, motoring all the way since there wasn't enough wind to make enough boat speed to get us over there in the morning. This map shows our approach to Isla Isabel and where we anchored in front of the two huge and extraordinary rocks known as Las Monas. Anchoring around Isla Isabel can be a bit tricky, as the sea bottom around the island is comprised of lava rock and some sand, so you've got to search for the sandy spots. From our anchorage here, you can see the two Las Monas rocks off our bow. Once we got settled, we dinghied over to the Fish Camp beach to begin our hike. Well, we have arrived on Isla Isabel. Maybe checking things out over there. I'm just going to give you a little picture of the environs here. We just dinghied in. Here's our dinghy right next to this other one. There's the electric. We came in there, and all the way around left, and we're anchored out behind these hills here. The guy from Santa Barbara named Mike helped us with the anchoring. We actually dove on it and said it was buried deep. Okay.
Santa Cleopatra!
Santa Cleopatra!
A partridge in a pear tree, huh? Three partridges.
They're all here. Oh, a little iguana. That guy just walked across the road under my feet. Hello, hello. Buenos dias.
Oh, look at the chick. The little chickadees.
Oh yeah, little chickadees.
A couple of them.
Uh-huh. Oh, you got some food dropped off. Yeah. We first saw frigate birds a few months ago when we were in Cabo San Lucas after the Baja Ha Ha Rally. When I asked a local boater what the birds were called, he answered in Spanish and explained that the word meant scissor tail because of its V-shaped tail. Their word for them is tijerita. Oh, this guy's providing shade, it looks like. It's a hot day. Oh, this wing is laying down too. He's waiting for a drop. Oh, I think he got one. And if you thought you saw a few frigates down there, and that cluster of trees, check this out. far as the eye can see. This must be the whole frigate supply.
After checking out the frigates, it was time to begin moving up the hill to where the boobies nested.
We're over there. See those twin rocks sticking up? They're offshore, and we're kind of behind them. And behind this, the largest peak right across the way. Okay, that's probably our boat way over there. I think it is. Yeah, it looks like it. Good, it's still there. Looks calm out there. That's the other good thing. Let's see. And the beach here.
Unlike the frigates that nest in trees, the boobies and other birds nest on the ground. Well, there are no trees up here anyway. They seemed perfectly calm and didn't mind us walking around. All the lava rocks, you mean?
Yeah. So we got a fully brown one, and then we got the brown and white one. Yeah, this one's, there's a chick. Yellowfoot brown, and a little chickadee. Nice. Another one, yellowfoot. Brown. Blue feet, blue feet. Indeed, they're blue. Okay, down the trail. There we go. Let's hope that when you're sliding. Yeah. Okay, we have a okay, that frigate decided to give Peggy the trail. We can go down there. And we can go again. That's gotta be a chickadee.
After that great tour of the island, it was time to get back to our boat for some lunch and to make preparations to leave for Mazatlán. As we passed over the anchor grounds where a few other boats were anchored, we thought about our first attempt to visit here. It was on our trip south, back in early December of last year, when we tried anchoring in this same area but found nothing but rocks. And with the wind up a bit, we decided to pass on visiting, while promising we'd stop here later when we were traveling back north. And boy, are we glad we did. However, this time we decided to anchor out near Las Monas. As we round the point here, you can begin to see how Las Monas appears to split into two rocks. Okay, they're just barely separated. Back on the boat, we decided to take a swim and do a bit of snorkeling before having lunch. Richard was interested in seeing how well our anchor was holding because we had a bit of difficulty anchoring when we arrived here earlier today.
Here you can see the chain curving down to the rock below. It's kind of like a moonscape down there. The yellow line is attached to a red fishing buoy that is anchored close to the area where our anchor was set. Here, the chain takes a slight turn to the right and heads toward a rock ledge where there is sand. Closer to the ledge, the chain takes a sharper turn around a rock bump or protrusion. It is likely that the boat's motion with wind and swell moved the chain over this protrusion after the anchor was set. Here, one can see the chain going over the ledge and across the sand. I couldn't see the anchor itself, so my assumption was it was buried in the sand, like a good set anchor should be.
After our snorkel, we relaxed on the boat with some lunch and talked about anchoring out here. As mentioned earlier, we had a bit of difficulty anchoring when we arrived, and it was very interesting to see how our chain and anchor were lying as we snorkeled over our anchor location. Here's a description of the difficulty we had. We were in about 25 feet of water, and I was at the helm, and Richard was at the bow of the boat, ready to drop the anchor when he thought we were over a good spot. The water is very clear, and he could see the rocky bottom. We dropped the anchor, and Richard told me to back up slowly. This is our usual procedure. But almost immediately the boat stopped suddenly, and the stern felt like it, and me with it, was being lifted into the air. Not good. This happened several times, and I was about to tell Richard to forget about it when a young man named Mike, who had been watching us, swam out to our boat with a snorkel and goggles. It turned out that he was an urchin diver from Santa Barbara. He helped us find a sandy area beyond the rock ledge to drop the anchor. Thank you, thank you. We left Isla Isabel in the late afternoon and proceeded on our way to Mazatlán, about 90 nautical miles away. The night was filled with light, first from the full moon, not hidden by any cloud cover, and then from passing fishing boats and cruise ships. We arrived here in Mazatlán about 9 a.m., and Richard proceeded to sleep the entire day. He's not liking these 2 overnighters in a row crossings. While we were in Mazatlán, we took a very interesting land excursion to Copper Canyon, which we'll cover in episode 15.